Welcome back to the show. Now look, I don't profess to being a dog mom, but I do like dogs. We have a dog, I love him, right?
Yeah, now you love him.
So look, that's why when Peta emailed me, I was like, oh my goodness, hold on. What's going on now? What did I do now? No.
Yeah, but listen, on the real, we have Peta Vice President Daphna Nachminovitch. Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning, and thanks so much for having me, you guys.
No, we are so happy to be here. Like, we joke around the show, but we have a beautiful dog that we love, and Josh.
He's a Maltipoo.
Yeah, and Daphna. So I didn't grow up with pets, and he did. And so the dynamic in our household is just crazy.
She snuggles up with our dog on a daily basis, and she says the reason is you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they lay in the bed together every night.
That's my excuse. I don't want to let my guard down. But Daphna, seriously, there was a cover story on the Washington Post magazine that you did, and it showcased, you know, dogs and how they sometimes they're outside during these terrible conditions, and we're getting into the colder season right now.
Right.
It's about 0 degrees almost here in Cleveland.
Right.
Can you please explain to our viewers why this is so important to know the safety of your dog, especially being outside?
Absolutely, and as you say, during weather extremes especially. But yes, the Washington Post wrote along with PETA's program called Community Animal Project back in the summer, and the cover story of the magazine appeared mid-November. And it did cover the plight of dogs, which is a national issue. It's a national epidemic. We have a crisis of care for dogs. We see, not just in our local program, but nationwide, dogs who are relegated to the outdoors, trapped at the end of a chain or in a small cramped pen that's never cleaned 24/7. And I wish all dogs were as lucky as your Maltipoo, but unfortunately what we see out there, and we're especially concerned during the winter right now, as you say, it's below freezing. And you know, if it's too cold for us, it's too cold for them. So we urge everybody to please bring their dogs inside, treat them as members of the family, and consider them for who they are as individuals.
That's really the point right there, and you hit it. I was gonna ask you, what is too cold and what is too hot? And I think we can all just say, if it's too cold for us, if we can't stand it, because sometimes—
it's that simple what she said.
Yeah, even I remember telling my daughter, because our dog is small, she likes to put hoodies on him and sweaters and everything. And I'm like, he has a coat of fur, but he's small, and we got to remember, it's just too cold for us, if it's too hot for us.
But then also that might be the people's way of thinking, like, oh, it has fur on it, it's a dog, he can stay outside, and that's not the case, right?
Absolutely not. And of course, short-haired dogs are more susceptible to being cold, but really, if you're trembling out there, then it's too cold for them too. And even if you're taking them for a walk, that's a totally different thing than keeping the dog outdoors 24/7. That's not just during weather extremes. That causes them to be lonely and frustrated. Imagine being trapped at the end of a chain your entire life, eating, sleeping, urinating, defecating, all in one small patch of dirt. Dogs are social pack animals. They thrive on companionship and exercise and interaction. So if you can't keep a dog indoors as a member of the family, we urge you just not to get one.
I always wonder when people have dogs on chains or it's wrapped around a tree, like, why do you have a dog? What? Right. I guess you just don't understand. Why do you even have a dog if you don't want to love it? And
exactly.
Have it be a part of the family.
You hit that on the nose right there, Maria. Exactly.
What if you suspect an animal of being abused or neglected? You know, who should you call, and should you get involved? Now, this is tricky because, you know, you don't want to get involved when it's not really appropriate. So can you tell us, when should you get involved and who should you call?
Great question. I mean, the thing is, if you see something, say something, right? You never be silent if you see an animal in need, just like if you see a person in need, we want you to report it. If you see an animal who is tethered or penned without adequate shelter, food, or water, or is in poor physical condition, by all means, call your local law enforcement agency. You know, what's the worst that could happen if you report something that's not in violation is that at least there is a wellness check for that animal. So we do want people to report suspected cruelty, suspected neglect. If an animal is outside in sub-freezing temperatures without adequate shelter, that's not legal. So you do want to report that to your local law enforcement authorities.
I think some people in some kind of twisted way, they still think, oh, I own a dog, I love this dog, but you have to make sure you take care of it. Even just like relationships with humans, you know, some people love differently.
Right.
But you got to take care of your pets because they can't really, you know, speak
to you. They can't speak for themselves.
I'm frostbite. They can't tell you they're frostbite, you know, so you have to really make sure you check on them and tend to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is no such thing as going overboard.
Yeah. I tell my kids every time, because, you know, sometimes it's hard when the children really want the pets, but the parents end up taking care of them. I have to tell my daughter sometimes, like, look, he can't speak. He's at the front door for a reason.
He's waiting. He's been at the front door for 20 minutes. Go let him out.
He needs to be let out.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Is there, if anyone wants to partner with PETA or help the organization in any way, is there a website or anything they can go to for more information?
Absolutely, yes. It's PETA.org, and you can come to our website and look at that Washington Post article. That's PETA.org/dogslife, and you will be taken to that Washington Post article to learn about what dogs are going through who are not as fortunate as your beloved little guy. And, you know, they may not speak the same language we do, but they are telling you something when they're sitting at that door, and they are telling you something when they're shivering. So listen to them.
Absolutely.
Just listen. Just listen. Thank you so much for educating us. And look, we got more cribs in the CLE. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.